Hey guys, this is Ryan with Vape Technologies. Today I'm making a bit of a longer video, but it's one I hope you guys will find informative, and it's essentially everything you need to consider whenever you guys are getting a vapor honing machine. Now the first thing that's on our list is you guys need to make sure that your machine is properly sized. Now that means its exterior footprint, that way it actually fits in your shop, as well as its interior workspace, that way the parts you're trying to put inside your machine can actually fit. The easiest way to verify this is to actually go on our Buy Surface Finishing Equipment tab. Under that, you'll see View All Machines, and this is going to show you every machine that we have available, and it also shows you those internal dimensions as well as external dimensions. So you guys can easily verify whether it's going to fit in your shop. Now, when you're looking at those external dimensions, a lot of those do not show it with the door open. So something like a 3500, you have to consider that large front load door, but that's something easy. If we need to get more specific or technical with you guys, remember we're a phone call away. That way we can answer all those questions for you guys. But again, when you're actually speccing your machine out, you want to verify that you have enough internal room. Let's say you're blasting something like an engine head and you're trying to put it in a 700. It may fit, but you do want to leave yourself a little bit of room. That way when you're actually moving the part around to blast all those different faces, as well as clean it thoroughly afterwards, you have room to do so and you're not cramped the entire time. Remember, we do have a trade-up option. So if you do start with a machine, if it becomes too small, you can upgrade it and get that money back later. I'll hit on that a little bit later in the video, but leave yourself a little bit of room. You definitely can't go too big, but you can definitely go too small. Next up on our list is the machine power requirements. So if you have a standard machine, that excludes the micro and the HD. They ship standard as 110 volts and they require a 15 amp breaker. Now on these standard machines, if they are applicable to the heater upgrade, so something like your VH1000 and the VH2000, this does change them over to 220 volt single phase. That is a requirement. If your machine ships with a heater, it will be 220 volt single phase. That's for all of the standard machines. Now, to speak on the HDs, they ship as 208 volt three phase. That heater can be included in that package, and you can also have different power variants, but that's something that would need to be addressed more specifically. So that would be a call-in question. Again, HDs typically ship as 208 volt three phase. And to speak on the micro actually requires no power. It only requires air to operate. Now, since we're on the subject of air, we can go ahead and address the machine air requirements. This is typically what we have the most questions about. So all of our machines operate between 60 and 100 PSI. That's excluding the micro. The micro, we typically like to keep it lower just not to stress that pump. But for all of our standard machines, again, between 60 and 100 PSI is where you're wanting to blast. Standard CFM ratings go between 20 and 30 CFM. That's with our standard air jet. We recommend a 7.5 horsepower compressor and an 80 gallon tank to actually supply enough air to that machine. It can put out around 25 CFM, which again will be more than enough. Additionally, your hose size going to your machine is very important. So for our larger machines, again, those that are requiring between 20 and 30 CFM, you're gonna wanna run a 3/4 line if possible to that machine. Now, when you get closer, you can take it down to a 1/2 inch line. So let's say if you're in between 20 feet, like 20 feet in hose length, you can run a 1/2 inch line and have no issues. But you just want to make sure that you're not putting 1/4 inch in that line, because that will definitely neck down your machine's ability, as it's just not going to be getting the air that it requires to operate. Now, I know I mentioned air jets a moment ago, and we actually offer those so that if you have a smaller compressor, you can still operate your machine. Now, it's not going to operate as fast as it is dropping down the air the machine's actually consuming, which means that the force is not exactly there, but the results that you get at the end will be exactly the same. So you're sacrificing a little bit of time to be able to use your compressor, but you're still gonna get the same results. And those can actually be checked out in the link below. And there are more videos that help with sizing the actual air jets to go with certain air compressors. That way you guys can get the optimal results with what you have. Up next on our list is closed and open loop machines. To begin with, open loop machines require an external water connection, meaning that you have to have a garden hose supplied to the machine. That is for when you're blasting, let's say you're rinsing a part down afterwards, or the window rinse is spraying. That's where that water is going to be derived from. As the machine fills up, when you open your overflow valve or the machine automatically opens its overflow, it's going to need to drain into a supply drain or a supplied bucket. So you're gonna have to be constantly monitoring this. It's a little bit different with a closed loop machine because the closed loop keeps it all contained. So you just fill the basins on the side and it actually pulls from its bottom basin and adds it to the machine as you're rinsing the part down. Now the benefits of both, with an open loop machine, it's actually gonna keep the water that's inside of it cleaner because you're constantly exchanging it, meaning it's not gonna get as murky as a closed loop machine would get over time. But the downside is if you're using something like a rust inhibitor, or even if you're wet soda blasting, the consumables that you add to your machine are also gonna be leaving. So your water stays cleaner because the contaminants can leave, but if you're trying to put any type of consumables in there, they will also leave. We typically recommend closed loop machines if you guys need tighter process control. So again, if you're using rust inhibitors or if you are wet soda blasting, and closed loop machines can be used in an area where you do not have a freshwater hookup, because you can simply just add the water to the machine, it'll run, and then whenever you change it, of course you have to add water back to it, but it doesn't need a constant connection. Up next on our list is how are the machines shipped? So let's start with the smallest first. The Micro and the VH700 are actually shipped through UPS. And this is just for convenience. That way you guys don't have to worry about a big truck coming to your residence. They can show up directly to your doorstep. And this is actually a little bit cheaper of a method too. As you guys know, LTL, which is actually how our other machines are shipped, can be quite costly. So we can go ahead and get into that. The other machines, which is stuff from the Weekend Warrior and up, they're all shipped LTL, which means they do come on a large truck. We do have liftgate delivery available if you do not have a forklift. That's not a worry, but it is a little bit more expensive. So you need to actually budget anywhere. I would actually say our average is around $550 for the lower 48 states, which can be a chunk of change whenever you're looking at getting one of these, but it's an unavoidable thing and it's not a rate that's set by us. And it does differ where you are based. We are based out of North Carolina. So of course, the further you are from there, the more the shipping is gonna be. But again, currently it's around $550 to ship something like a VH800FL to the lower 48 states. Now, the very big thing with shipping is that when you actually receive it, if there's any damage to your machine, refuse it. Do not accept it. This is so that we can actually start a claim with the shipping company. If it's something that you see later as you're opening it up, call us. We will try and help you get it situated. But again, if there's something where you can actually see damage to the box or damage to the machine itself, absolutely refuse it and call us immediately. We will help you guys out as needed, and we will also make sure to get your money back for you. Another thing I want to mention today is lead times for machines. So currently lead times for HDPE machines, which is something like a Micro, a Weekend Warrior VH700, they are a 7 to 10 business day lead time, which that's actually how long it takes us to produce them and get them shipped. Metal cabinets, on the other hand, they are currently between 6 and 8 weeks. And this can all differ greatly depending on the amount of stock that we have on hand. So if we have machines built up and we can get them out the door, and also if we have the correct supply, because we do have supply chain issues. We're just like any other business. They can put a damper on us at times, but these can fluctuate either way. So again, you guys can call in and occasionally we can have machines shipped out same day, and it can also take longer. It all depends on how the actual delivery of supplies goes to us. Next up on our list is the refund policy. We typically operate off of a 30-day refund policy, and it may be subject to a restocking fee. You guys can actually learn more about our refund policy using the link below. Now I want to discuss something that's actually very cool that we offer, and that's our trade-up program. We're the only wet blasting equipment manufacturer that offers this, because John, our owner, initially used these machines and he understands how it feels to get something, realize that you actually need something larger and not be able to afford it. And that's kind of what we're trying to accommodate here. So we really want to make it to where these machines can grow as you do. Let's say you start out with a Weekend Warrior, it works great, you love it, and you're using it every day in your shop, and then you realize that you've got larger parts coming in and you actually can't fit them in your Weekend Warrior anymore. What we can do for you guys is, if you send that Weekend Warrior back to us, we will give you the full credit that you paid for it back to you. and you can actually put that towards your larger machine. So it makes it a lot cheaper to actually upgrade and work your way into a larger machine. Now there is one caveat to this. If you guys modify your machine, so if it's damaged in any way, or if you add any extra holes or something of that nature, we cannot accept it in as trade up. The machine needs to be close to stock. That way we can actually resell it. That's something cool that we do, is we offer machines that we take in on trade-in, we'll refurbish them and we can send them back out at a cheaper price for you guys. But again, if you modify your machine, it is no longer available for the trade-up policy. Now, the last thing on our list is actually something that we are very proud of here at Vapor Rental Technologies, and that is our lifetime warranty. It is a true lifetime warranty. The only things that we do not cover are the consumable things inside your machine, which is stuff like your blasting gloves, your window, your actual blasting gun tip. All of this can be found on our website, where you can get an in-depth look at our lifetime warranty. That way you can understand it and use it to your advantage. And again, when you're buying a vapor hunting machine, you're essentially buying a partnership. We really do stand behind our equipment. So if you guys have any issues, we have live customer support. And again, we have this lifetime warranty. That way you guys are up and running as much as possible. Since I've mentioned the live customer support that we have, if you guys have any issues once you get your machine, if you have any questions, if you need help speccing something for a job, trying to figure out what abrasive you need to use, just call us up. We will be glad to help you guys out. That way, again, you're getting the optimal performance out of your machine, which is what we want you guys to get. And the very last thing, this is actually not on our list, it's just a little tidbit of information we wanted to throw in for you guys. When you place your order, that's when you're going to receive your operator's manual as well as your login for the knowledge base page, and that will be attached to your tracking information. So I know as the machine's in its construction process, you guys are going to be getting the updates. Whenever you get your tracking information, that is where all that's going to be. So again, it's going to be your operator's manual as well as your login for the knowledge base page. There's a ton of information on there, so as soon as you guys get it, log in and check it out. And again, if you have any issues, please give us a call at 828-202-5563. You can chat with us online, and you can even leave comments on the YouTube videos, and I'll make sure to respond to you guys. But again, if you have any issues, any questions, call us back at 828-202-5563. Thanks, and have a great day. Peace.